Hey guys, in this video I want to show you guys exactly how to buy and sell and lock in your profits, okay? For you guys who are just starting to trade or just about to get into virtual trading, this is a very good introductory video for you guys to know exactly how to execute orders and how trading works in general. Okay, so I'm going to go through this and I'm going to talk a little bit about what you're seeing on the screen right now. Alright, this is what we call the platform, and this is how we trade and buy or sell stocks. So there's many different platforms as I've discussed before, and this is what you use and is provided for you through your brokerage. So whatever company you decide to set up your brokerage account with, say it's ShareTrader or TD Ameritrade, as I would probably recommend, they give you this software to download. So right now what you're looking at is called ThinkOrSwim. This is the platform that TD Ameritrade offers. So a lot of these platforms look a little different, but in reality and for the purpose of learning how to buy and sell, they all have similar structures and they all follow the same rules. So whereas the placement of certain buttons and features might be different and the charts might look different in terms of the color scheme and all that, this video will still be very helpful in having you guys understand how to buy, how to sell, and how you actually make money trading and what exactly it consists of. So let's get right into it. What you do here is you can pick the stock that you want to buy. So say you're looking at FEMA, all right, FNMA, and that's a Fannie Mae. That's a very popular stock these days. I wouldn't advise trading it right now because it's always a very high volume stock. But say this is the stock you're going to trade. What you do is you have to open up a buy or sell order. Now there's various ways to do it, but essentially through using ThinkOrSwim, you can click on buy market here. And what that does is usually this is minimized. Okay, so all this is how you actually see. This is the chart. This is the options you have in terms of what to do. You can buy, you can sell. Ignore the fact that it says buy MKT. That means market. As I've mentioned before, you always want to only trade with limit orders. But in general, the reason you want to click this button is because it opens up this order entry tool at the bottom. Okay, and this order entry tool allows you to be able to buy and sell stocks when you need to. So the reason it's called an order is because that's exactly pretty much what you're doing. You're placing an order to buy a stock. All right, so you'll be putting in an order entry. Now it seems like there's a lot of options, but let me break it down for you. All right, you're always going to be pretty much buying a stock. There's different options. Sometimes you can even buy options, but that's a whole other category. When you click on the buy market, you're going to be buying, but you can also just change to sell if you want to sell. Okay. Then this number here, the plus 100, is the amount of shares that you want to buy. So, usually it depends on how you want to place your position. So that also depends on how much money you have in your account. So you have to do the math very quickly. So for example, say you have $1,000 in your account and the stock is worth $1, you will probably and you want to go all in, which I wouldn't recommend for people with large accounts, but with small accounts you kind of have to start doing that. First start with virtual trading and small orders, like maybe a couple hundred shares, but slowly you'll build your confidence, and that's how you'll be able to make money, and that's how you'll be able to grow your account exponentially. So this affects how many shares you want to purchase. So you can change it. I can make it 500. Okay, and then this right here is the symbol you're trading, and as I stated before, we're looking at Fannie Mae, and I hit the buy button while we were looking at this chart, so it opens it. That's the symbol. Now the only other really important part is the order right here. This itself is very important, okay, because as I was talking about before, you never want to do market orders, okay? You always want to pretty much stick with limit orders. A limit order allows you to specifically choose a certain price to buy a stock at. Okay, so if you want to buy the stock at $4.10, then you want to place a limit order for $4.10. Alright, and you can adjust, when you click on limit, you can adjust the price here. That means that when you put in the order and you confirm and send the order, all of the stocks that you will purchase will be priced at 410. Now the reason that is very important, especially with these penny stocks, is because if you were to use a market order, the issue is that you would just get the price that the stock is trading at, and that can range dramatically because of the markets that we are trading in. So when you trade OTC BB stocks or pink sheet stocks, then there's a lot of volatility involved. And the problem with purchasing at market is that the stock price right here, this is up here on the top right, is where you can see the stock price. And right now I'm shooting this video after hours, but during the day, during the trading hours and when the market is open, this price would be fluctuating like crazy because of the price change and the bids and the asks affecting the price of the stock. So the issue is, if you see here, this shows you the orders that are in the queue. And I'm going to go over that later. This is level 2, which I'm about to actually release a video on a little later today. Kind of an introductory video, but I'll link to that. I'll talk about that later. But in general, just stay away from market, because the problem with market is that you will still get the stocks and you might get them faster, but you won't get them at the price that you want. And that becomes very risky, because it is very possible that you want to buy the stock at 410, so you put the buy order but at that point, and you end up getting the stock at like 430. And yeah, that sounds really ridiculous, but that actually happens, especially in these OTC BB and pink sheet stock markets. So never ever do market, stick with limit orders. Okay, and then when you have your confirmation, you want to do 500 shares of Fannie Mae, you want to buy it at 410, all you do is hit confirm and send, and it'll open up an order confirmation dialog. Okay, obviously, like I said before, this is ThinkOrSwim, this is the TD Ameritrade platform, but your own software and your own brokerage platform will have a very similar order confirmation to this. And basically this gives you a summary of everything you're doing. You're buying 500 shares of Fannie Mae at 410, and it's going to cost you a total of $2,059. Now it should only cost you $2,050, but remember, you have to take into account the commission. Okay, the rest of the information that it tells you has to do with buying power effect, meaning how much you'll still be able to buy. But I go into that in later videos. And I discuss the concept of margin versus leverage in other videos, so definitely check those out. But this is kind of what you see, and then all you do is hit send, and it places the order. And now, as you can see, I have an order here for 500 shares at $4.10. Now, what the screen you're looking at right now is called the level 2 screen, so don't worry too much about it. But essentially, then what I could do if I wanted was I could right click, and if I wanted to change the order, I right click on my order and I hit cancel or replace the order. And at this point I could change it to a different price. Now this might be very useful for you guys, because as you'll probably notice, once you start virtual trading or once you start actually trading, of course I recommend you start with virtual trading first, you'll notice that you want to basically make sure that you get in a good limit price, so you're always going to price your shares low, but in essence the stock price moves so quickly that you might have to readjust it. So you don't want to put in another order, okay? Remember that. You want to replace the order. You right click here and you replace the order, and then you do the same thing again. Now don't worry about the commission. You're only going to be charged commission when an order is fully executed. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that right now, fortunately, because the order wasn't executed. And when it does get executed, you'll get pop-ups. Alright, but this is a good example of the statuses that you will see. Okay, this is my old order that I put in. That was the first one that I put in at 410. And because I replaced it, it said you are out. Okay? And you can see it here. This order was canceled. All right? And now I replaced it. When the status says at 4:15, when the status says working, that means that they're trying to fill the order. Okay? So now your order is there and the platform is going to try and get you the stocks at the price that you want. So as soon as there's a seller that's willing to sell it at that point at 4:15, you know, depending on how many people are buying it at the same price you are, your order should be filled, and then you'll get a couple of pop-ups on your screen telling you that your order was filled, and then you hold a position. And then, to lock in your profits, all you do is you hope that the stock goes up, which you can pretty much, effectively predict based on different strategies, which I have in the detailed strategies section. And you go on, and then once the order is executed, you do the same thing. You just sell. And by hitting the sell button, again, it opens up the order entry book, but the difference is now this time you're selling your shares. Of course, you can't sell more than you have, so you would go back and you can control the amount you want to sell. You don't have to necessarily sell all the shares at once. For example, in this case, I'm going to sell 500 shares, assuming that I already bought them. And again, I'm going to never do market. You're going to place it at limit. And I'm going to set the price that I want to sell my shares at. Okay? And you can even set this order before the stock price reaches that. Okay, so as soon as you buy your stocks, watch the market, but you can even set a limit order, where you want to lock in your profits, 20, 30 cents higher. Sometimes I do that, and then I'll adjust it based on how I see the market reacting. So yeah, that's the introductory video on how to buy and sell and how to understand the order book. I'll go more into it. If you guys have any questions, again, email me at admin@inpennystock.com, and I'll have a more clarified version if there's anything that I missed or anything you don't understand. But I hope this helps you guys understand how you buy and sell these stocks.